Hello, welcome everyone to African Travel and More. This is Chef. I'm Yolanda. You're very welcome. What are we going to talk about today? It's not a happy topic, but it is an important topic. What is going on at the Ghanaian embassy in Washington D.C.? What is going on there?
Oh, you know what? All I can say is that Ghana has
Oh,
stepped up its corruption game.
oh,
I mean, they're outdoing Nigeria on this one because they got the whole embassy closed down.
my,
Now that's kind of a joke. I know
that's
I've
That's
offended
true.
the whole what is it, about 35 million people I've
Well,
offended. But
well,
anyway,
probably or the one or two that are on
right,
our channel.
right.
But yes, this is it's not a good thing. So it's closed. Actually, this embassy we have gone to. We visited this embassy. We've done a video on several of the embassies in the DC area. Now, what I can say about this embassy, I don't know if you remember, about a couple of years back, we tried to get in contact with this Washington embassy to get our visas for Ghana. They would never pick up the phone. They would never pick our call. They would never pick our call. We
I
would
have I
call.
have a comment about that. And my comment now, what you're going to learn is that the corruption was through the IT department of the embassy of the people who were running the embassy. And my comment about them not picking up our call, the IT department was clever enough to pull out a great corruption scam, but they were not clever enough to service the customers
Right,
better.
to pick our
So
call.
it's what so why couldn't you do that? But anyway, go ahead and
Yeah, so this is what I want to do today. Uh, a couple of things. I want to show a video that that's talking about it. It just happened. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was, you know, just some haters hating until I found this clip from Joy Media. Um, so let's put it up so you guys can see.
Another matter that broke this morning is what we read on the social media page of the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakuna. Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C., United States of America, has been shut down, at least for the time being, after some staff members were allegedly caught in corrupt and fraudulent schemes. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakuna, who ordered the closure, explained that a local staff charged unapproved fees of up to 60 to 126 United States dollars to clients at the blind side of the Foreign Affairs Minister. My colleague, Koko Santi, joins me in the studio. So, Koko, what more do we know on this matter?
Yes, Elton, according to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, their staff is called Mr. Kwatin, Fred Kwatin. And according to the foreign minister, he was employed on August 11, 2017 to work on the embassy's IT infrastructure, and he has been working there since then. And what he is accused of doing is that he is said to have illegally diverted or created a sort of a back channel on the embassy's website that directed potential clients to the embassy to his personal company's website, which he had created, and he was charging between $29.75 and $60 for services that ordinarily are actually offered by the embassy. And so if you wanted to do something with the embassy and you went onto the website and you clicked on that service, it redirects you to the website owned and operated by this Mr. Kwatin, and he charges you between $29 and then $60 to offer you those services.
Wow. Okay. So just eh, that's a that's a setup. Hello, welcome, welcome. That's a setup right there. And it just goes to show a couple of years back we weren't able to get in contact with this very embassy, the one in DC, and so we didn't continue. Actually, we got our visas out of the New York um, embassy, and I've heard people complain about that one, but the DC. So, what do you think? What do you think? I
Well,
think it's not good. It's not, because not only it's not only just for people to get visas. It makes the country not look very good, and Ghana is has a good relationship, I would say, with the U.S.
right.
And they do a lot of trade agreements, a lot of scholarship. Um, as you'll hear, maybe I don't know if that's in that clip, but yeah, it's yikes.
Yeah, I was
It's
not in
like
that clip. It was the clip
yeah,
was just basically showing what was happening with the embassy, that the IT person had a backdoor channel to make money um,
hmm
based upon the need of the consumer to get a
right,
visa.
right,
Stuff that the consumer could get on their own or free was being paid
paid
for,
for.
and that was quite clever, in all honesty. But
It's clever, but
it
it's
supposedly
not
went on for
good.
5 years,
It did, I'm
and
sure.
that's for my just instinct. That's probably why the embassy was closed down. Because if it went for 5 years, it is very likely that more than one person knew about it, more than
Mm-hmm.
two people knew about it. That it may be a collection of funds being spread around, and that's what they're thinking. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's 5 years
Oh,
of corruption,
yeah.
and nobody seen anything.
Okay.
And one of the things that we can say is that we've been in the belly of the beast. You can check out one of our videos.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't have it.
But we can go back and put it in the link.
We've been in the
Yeah,
belly of the beast
yeah.
of
It's
the embassies. We've actually been there inside the embassies, several of them, and we got some
yes,
footage of some of them.
yes.
And we kind of see what they do, and we see how they operate. And there's a bit of casualness about it, and a bit of
Yes.
enough casualness where I can see corruption can be part of.
Yeah.
You can how it can be slipped in, and how as a team they can kind of agree on it.
Yes. Oh,
I
yeah.
remember we were at one embassy. I'm not sure if we filmed this, where it was all these passports stacked up on this person's
Mhm.
desk
We did. Yeah.
when they should have been been
Working
stamped,
it right.
but they just kind of walking around eating sandwiches and hanging out, and
Right.
all these passports just stacked up on the desk.
Yes.
So there's a bit of casualness about it
Mhm.
that I could see how corruption can slip in, especially somebody who's clever, do it backdoor with IT.
Yeah.
So
I agree with what AA says here. It is a disgrace. It's not good. It's it tarnished um, Ghana's reputation. Just a few, but it's not everyone, but it's just a few people will mess up a country's reputation, right? So, and it is a shame. It's a disgrace and it's a shame. So, but however, will I stop going to Ghana? Will you stop going? No.
no, we're not. It's not
It's
everybody,
not
but
that thing.
you
But you just think about it, because yeah, your passport, which is very, because I'm concerned for the people, say, who've gotten possibly caught up in this loop, right? Where you sent your passport and your passport is stuck there. If it's closed down, it's stuck.
they probably sent it to New York.
I don't know, but that's a tedious situation right there. Okay. I don't know. Let me know. Have you, anybody on the chat right now? Anyone on the live stream? Have you had a situation with the embassies? I don't think that there's been another situation like this, but it's not good. But it won't stop me from going to Ghana, but it just makes me just leery, because I know how things go down. Like he was saying, we actually were in the belly of the beast. So AA says yes. Um, so maybe if you want to share your experience, because I know with us traveling there, I mean, we've had so many situations where you get caught up in not being able to get your passport in a timely manner. I think we've done a video. I know we've done a video about that. I'll put all of those in the link once this finishes. But yeah, we've actually had to fly to get our passport because we were gonna miss because of the slowness of processing it.
Yeah. So basically, what
Oh
they
my
were so slow and non-responsive that we had to actually get a flight to fly there and go into the office and get the passport. I mean, not the passport, but the visa.
Yeah. Well, with our passport. So you're correct.
Right.
Get our
Yeah, our
passport.
passport. Right.
That's
Get
our
the
passport.
visa stamp.
And I see where lots of applications are stranded. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm sure Jeff brought up a good. He said, "Baby, they send it to New York." I don't know. I think once they do, knowing how U.S. investigations go, I think once it's stuck, it's stuck. Can you imagine getting caught up in this mess here and say you have tickets, say you're going to fly to, say you have your travel coming up, going to Ghana, and it's stuck in the investigation now? I feel for anyone that's caught up in that situation, because these are things that really happen. I wish I could say, oh, I don't know about it, but we know about it. And I think from here on out, this will make me want to go stand there and look at them stamp, honestly, because we've done it like that before. When we visited, desired to go to multiple countries, we actually took our passport. We said, how long? I don't think any of them really said like an hour or two. I think we had to come back the next day was the situation. But yeah, this one.
Yeah, and the thing is, because the embassy supplies so many international services, that's what makes it hurt the people so much. It's not just the visas; it's a lot of international services and social services that the embassy provides. So that's a big loss.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I said Ghana is. They stepped up their corruption game. They beat out Nigeria's never. I've never known them.
Oh,
well, I'm bad, but look, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble.
I'm gonna get in trouble from them.
You know, we have lots of friends in Ghana, but you know what?
And Nigeria.
So, but I tell you one thing, we haven't talked to our friends in Ghana yet, but they will say corruption has to be dealt with. And there is a clip here that the final clip, I just want to show you a pinch of the final clip. Actually, they're talking with the head, I guess, of the New York embassy, which I actually have good things to say about the New York embassy, because that's where we went. Because like I said earlier, the embassy in DC, they wouldn't pick our call. We were calling because I like to call and talk to you before I send our passports. So anyways, I want to show this right quick, and then I'll see what you all have to say. But remember to like and put your comments in. So let's...
So now, meanwhile, the minority in parliament, they are firing the Minister for Foreign Affairs, accusing him of being undiplomatic with diplomatic issues. The deputy ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafo Aye, has been raising concerns over the decision in an interview with my colleague, Anna Odame.
Let me first and foremost place on record that the minority is not against the sanctions or the measures that are being taken to reprimand or to punish wrongdoers. Never. We are not against that. But you see, we feel that there should have been so much more consultation, so much more diplomacy and tactfulness to this whole matter. Now, the embassies are not only for visa or for passport works. The embassy goes beyond the visa and passport works. You see, the embassy largely serves as a critical platform for a lot of diplomacy work. We have trade attaches in the embassies. We do scholarship activities in the embassies. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lot of strategic dealings that goes on in the embassy. So for you to come out and say that because of a certain fraud allegation, you are closing the entire embassy, that is an embodiment of a country in another man's land, that we disagree. No.
Okay. That was my point. The entire embassy is closed. Isn't it possible to do an investigation? And you guys tell me, let me know, let me hear from you, because Jeff is definitely going to say his part. But my feeling is you close the entire embassy to do what? To do the investigation, right? It's no way to do the business and investigate.
What do you think? I know that. I think that.
What are you guys?
I think the reason they closed the entire embassy because it went over 5 years. Now, I would think it would be a mistake to close the entire embassy if you don't have ways for people to get their visas and all the other things that are in process. Mm-hmm. But because it lasted so long, they don't know. It's like a disease that goes through your body or goes through a virus that goes through your computer. And it's been there. You don't know, so you have to turn the computer off so it can stop it from spreading. So that's kind of a philosophy about it. But anyway, go ahead.
So listen, I see what AA says. Anyway, on arrival visas available. Well, you know what? We've had experiences with that too. I like to, right now we're blessed because we have a 5-year visa with Ghana. So this is not impacting us. We've had the experience, we were in another African country, Uganda, and they blocked and they wouldn't let us get that visa on arrival. So you have to be careful. If you're coming from the US, going to Ghana straight, but most of the times we're traveling to maybe 3 or 4 different countries before we get to Ghana. So you have to be safe with that. Coming from the US is no problem. You can get it on arrival. Every time, it's no problem. The problem is when you are going from another country. But to me, I hear what you're saying. I'm just thinking that the shutdown, I don't know. It's not a good thing. It doesn't bode well. It doesn't, because the embassy, I mean, come on. And I don't know, Jeff. I guess I'm more partial to Ghana. I'm more partial to them. I just can't believe that it's happened. It's embarrassing. I don't know. You have more to say about it. I guess my feelings are in it.
No, that's pretty much what I'd say. It's disappointing.
Yes,
because Ghana has over the years have presented a great model for Africa on the world stage.
Yes,
and people all over the world, I go to different places. They are modeling and they're respecting Ghana. Mm-hmm. Ghana's property value is definitely shot up in the main, like Accra. So
they're seen as leaders. Even if you're in Egypt, they're like, oh, Ghana, yes,
So by having the distinction of being the only embassy we know of to shut itself down for corruption, that's a real black eye on them, because so many major companies want to move their headquarters to Ghana as to be the centerpiece for distributing their information and so forth throughout Africa. So that's but the good news is that as disappointing as it is, the authorities took leadership and said, "Hey, we're going to cut this off at the head."
Right
so,
away. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of all I have to say. We have a whole bunch more stuff to show you, so
yes,
we can't show you in this video. But
no. But what I did want to say is that this is not usually the time for our lives, but we might switch it to this time. As promised this week, because I told him because of travel. So the next series, or the next thing that I want us to present, is acquiring an attorney in the foreign country, Sierra Leone. How to go about doing that. Should you do it? Yes. When it has to do with property, you should. It may
right, and understanding how attorneys practice law, and we'll go into that a little bit deeper.
Want to get him on?
Right, you know, because it's how attorneys practice law around the world will determine your faith and your understanding of how that legal system and process is going to work.
Give an example. Like in Sierra Leone, they practice
well, it's British common law. So basically that's what the United States practice, and many other countries practice. Right. And that is, it's a certain way in which the law is stacked up, in which way they apply the law, where you can have faith that the legal system has teeth. So those are the things we want to discuss.
Right.
I mean, not in a boring discussion about the
we
law.
Hope not.
But just to give you a kind of sense
our storytelling, our experience, because that's what it's all about. A lot of people, they want to travel to the continent. Should you travel? Yes, most definitely. You should travel. Africa is paradise, I always say. However, you always have to use common sense and guidelines. And so, that's the next one that we want to do. So we're about done. I don't see any more comments on this. Yes, is it something that it's embarrassing? Yes. Does it affect people? I really feel for the people who may or may not have their passports stuck in that situation, because I know in the US, when they start doing investigation, they gather whole stuff in the evidence and all of that. So anyways, thank you. Remember to like, remember to subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out. I hope that this has been wonderful. And until next time, friends, may God bless you. May he bless you. May he bless you. Bye.